Alrighty guys, Lee from Mountain Dirty Motorsports is being kind enough to get us our first 300XC TBI. We are beyond excited. Lee's an excellent guy. You guys got to come and see him. Get your bike ordered. He will get you set up. He's walking us through some of the changes on the 300XC TBI. Really excited. Quite a few changes. The bike is incredible. Really excited to ride it.
All right, so let's take a look starting at the rear of the bike here. New swing arm design. You'll notice there's just a little thicker design here, so there's more material in that swing arm. Pretty cool to see as well. So moving forward a bit here, the most obvious changes are on the shock. So on this exact shock, very similar valving to historical bikes, but a lot easier to control now. So your rebound adjustment is able to be managed without tools. Similar on the outside, your high-speed compression and low-speed compression on the inside is going to be much easier to manage. I will say it's a lot of fun to try to get at that preload collar down there, so we'll get after that in just a few moments. Slightly new shape on the clutch cover here, nice black cover, which is fantastic. Spend some time here on these pegs. Not only do you have a broader foot peg surface here, and the nice thing too is just the way this sits in here, it grabs your boots nicely without ripping your boots up. I have spent some time on these pegs. They're fantastic, but the bigger thing is how those pegs, the mounting point is now tucked in closer to the frame of the bike. And so it pulls your legs and your boots around underneath, almost like grabbing a horse, and allows you to control the bike with your legs a lot better. If you want to tuck down in here for a second, Brian, thank you. You'll see a very four-stroke-ish, if I can use that word, cold start mechanism with that little yellow flower down there that everyone's familiar with. And again, rolling that throttle to forward shuts off that cold start. You've got a real idle adjustment right here with that little red flower. So that's going to be changed on the two strokes as well. New header pipe or expansion chamber design here. Obviously some flat spots for clearance here. You do not see the flat spot like you have since 2020 on the TPI bikes as they come in. Fuel tank, similar capacity, a little different shape. We love that forward angle, that nice forward swept angle of the tank spoilers on there as well. You'll probably notice there's a different cap on your radiator as well, not the standard cap that's on there as well, so a little bit of difference. Take a look here at that rear of that fender, designed to push airflow into those radiators.
Very cool.
Pretty cool design.
Great.
As we move up to the front suspension, you'll notice very similar. This is the exact air suspension with compression and rebound on your right side, preload on your right, on my right, excuse me, your left. Stock settings for this are 9.7 bars. Let's talk about the controls for a second. If there's one thing that will screw you up is the fact that you've got a start and stop button on the same side. Man, I can't get used to that yet, but I'm sure we'll get there. Over on this side, you do have, of course, your map 1 and 2, which is nice. You'll get really familiar with this control too if you ride the 4 strokes. Underneath the same controller here is going to be traction control and your quick shift controller on those. Everything's a little different. If you take a look at even how your number plate attaches with a little 6mm there versus the 8mm T30 that came in from the front historically, your hour meter looks quite a bit different here, both in terms of its mounting and its appearance. I really like the fork shrouds. Nice clean look here. Just a modern design on them. I like how they're doing a better job too of not putting any stickers on these and really putting the graphics in. I'm not sure if you noticed for 2023, and this is for all models, including the older chassis as well. Different stickers, WP stickers went to a clear design, so everyone will probably notice that. You'll also probably notice that you're running an MX33 on this bike in the front with the AT81 in the back. We like this tire quite a bit. At least I like the control it gives me. If you want to come around this side, we've got different wrist guards on the front here, so a little more robust if you're somebody who chooses to keep these versus put a full wraparound hand guard on there. One of the big problems they've solved on this bike for this year is where that quick disconnect is for your fuel line. You'll have to kind of look up in here, but there's your quick disconnect, and so you've eliminated this fuel outlet on the bottom of the tank that was so susceptible to damage when it came off. So they've kind of tucked a lot of this up and around. You don't really have, obviously you don't have your air bypass or your cold start control on this side, so it really cleaned up this side of the bike. You're still running a 13 front on this, and I believe you're still running a 51. To be honest with you, I need to put eyes on it to make sure that I'm not incorrect there. And of course that means good eyes, and I don't have my glasses. Here's one of the things I'm so happy about. Take a look at the new kickstand.
Oh, yeah.
Not only do you have a lot of clearance, and it's really important for other dealers to make sure that they're putting the head of that pin, that peg pin, up with the cotter up top so that you get good clearance here, because it really pulls that kickstand down if you don't put that pin in correctly. But the elimination of that plastic foot down here gets rid of a lot of pain. I'm sure we're all used to spinning our bikes around on the trail and breaking that foot off. I'm also really anxious to see how this screw was a weak spot, if you remember, on the old kickstand design.
Just broke one a couple days ago.
Absolutely. And it looks like we have no movement of that screw just on that new design. So I'm anxious to see how that works. If you also recall, we used to have a connection point up on the frame, and so these springs would launch. Oh my goodness, would they go.
I literally just had that happen. Went to kick a kickstand up the other day, and it broke that bolt off right there.
Absolutely.
And that spring was gone.
Absolutely.
Like,
well, you lose the whole assembly.
Oh,
yeah, you bet. No fun at all. You do have a new airbox design as well, so we're going to go ahead and give that a nice sharp pull. You do have a newly designed air filter. By the way, these are available, so not everything, all the accessories and replacement air filters are available for Twin Air through the KTM catalog. You can see it does not have the same symmetrical design that it did in the past. No screen right there, so this is a unique air filter that will be very different. So for those buying these models, your inventory in your garage of old air filters is not going to work. You will need to take care of that. I like how the airbox is nice and deep here, and I also like the ability to kind of shield it from a lot of dirt and water that used to creep in there. It feels like it seals a little better there as well. You've got an integrated handle on this subframe here to grab, so it runs all the way through. Of course, it's an XC, so you know what that guy is right there, right? That a lot of people don't realize. That's a capacitor. So the XC model, unlike the XCW models, actually you can bump start on a dead battery and it will hold a charge and get you out. The XCW models do not have that.
That is
so
awesome.
It's one of the benefits of an XC.
Absolutely.
Come on and move around top, if you will, with me. By the way, still a little rubber loop for the kickstand. Very different orientation on a couple of things up here. Number one, your seat, and we're going to move to the forward here. Your seat is held on with one bolt, so that's where the bolt is. There is no rear attachment other than the tabs. Your fuel pump now is right on top, or where it goes down in and sinks in the fuel pump. So nice convenient area right here for the fuel system to run in, as well as the connection for the electric fuel pump. The battery lays on its side, that lithium battery here. So it is the same lithium battery that we've seen for a while. They're very dependable. They lay on their side. To access that, you take this little 8mm or T30 out right there, and this whole tray lifts up to allow access to that battery to come out underneath. The ECU sits on its pedestal, very similar to how it was before, so easily accessed. And for those of you who are used to tapping into your connection here, you'll notice if you're a KTM guy and if you have street bikes that it's got a much smaller connector that is typically utilized by the 890 Adventure Rs and the rest of their street bikes. Versus the old one. Make sure if you're looking at your kit that comes with this, you do have a new dongle in there. It did confuse me when I first saw it. That dongle is actually to reset the upper and lower parameters of the electronically controlled exhaust valve. Okay, so please don't lose that when you get that in your kit. I think those are the highlights so far. One last thing that we don't have on this motorcycle, you've probably noticed, is going to be your skid plate. It's going to be, I'm going to pull this down for you, Brian. I'm hearing some good reports on that skid plate. We will install it in just a few moments. It's vented. I don't have any structural concerns about it right now. It does have a lot of holes in it, so it's going to catch some rocks and debris. So this is going to be a unit that we're going to get used to cleaning out periodically, just to get the stuff out of it. And just the last thing, let's go ahead and set this seat up on here as well. I'm not going to install it, but you get an idea. The same seat as the 4-strokes. It is a good looking seat. I like the connection point on it. It's very simple. But I think those are the big changes that I'd outlined for this motorcycle. I'm dying to hear how you like it. I rode it in Charlotte with the rest of the dealer group when we were down there a few months ago. Really enjoyed it. It's strong on the top end, but I'm anxious to see what the final mapping felt like. So excellent. I'll need a report.
Well, guys, I just got to tell you, if you haven't ever dealt with Lee at Mountain Dirty Motorsports. He is absolutely the best in my opinion. You ever take your bike to a dealership or bought a new bike from a dealership and have them give it this much detail, especially on a new bike? I'm impressed, beyond impressed. We've bought a few bikes from him now. I would recommend him more than any other dealership I've been to. Fantastic guy, fantastic dealership. Please give him a look. Mountain Dirty Motorsports. Lee, thank you for your time.
Thanks so much,
we really do appreciate it. Double thumbs up.
Thank you.
If you guys haven't been to Mountain Dirty Motorsports, you got to come and check it out. This place is awesome. They're great, excellent service, got lots of cool stuff in stock. And man, we are super excited to come and see what they've got for us back here. I think we got a 300 XC TBI somewhere. Oh man, I see the SXs and the FX, sorry, the SXF and the XCF. And they got a killer selection here. GASGAS, KTM, Husky. How often do you see that? Pretty awesome. Yeah, look at that new boy there. Lots of killer gear. Not very many places stock as much gear as they do. They got a 6 days bike right here. Lots of 23s right here. GASGASes, Huskies over there. Got the kids' bikes, got your straps, all kinds of gear. Got some trials bikes. That factory edition right there. Yeah. Look at this, they even got factory seats in stock. They got all kinds of goodies, man. Killer helmets. Look at these Liat helmets. I like those. I actually will try one of those out pretty soon. Got all kinds of goodies, man. Huge helmet selection. Killer backpack selection. Got some vests back here. Got some Liat packs. Big Liat gear bags there. Lots of boots. Can't wait to try these out. I want to try these Johnny Walker boots out. Good, like those soles quite a bit. I actually have the 5.5, those ones, but really want to try those guys out right there. Killer boots. Now this place has got the selection though. Look at this. This is a good looking helmet. I've seen these before. Got the goodies. Come over and take a look at these KTMs. Oh yeah, look at that. There's some 300 XCWs, 250 XCWs. Somebody's 21 KTM right there. Got a free ride of 500. Huge tire selection. Bunch of goodies, bunch of goodies.